right, let's get ready to take a walk. Taking my fish oil pill. Because yesterday I forgot to take it till after my walk, so it's okay. I just want it to be getting in there and processing through. All right, so let's go on a walk. Oh, goodness. I find that I get a little inspired when I'm out walking. So, decided I can share some of my motivations and inspirations while I'm out with the creativity flowing, right? Oh, goodness. So, today, I guess I'll start with figuring out things to eat and meal planning, meal prepping. That was one of the hardest parts for me, I think, in the beginning. And it's not just a weight loss journey. Healthy lifestyle comes with a lot of different things. So, what is health, right? The things we put into our body, they determine what our health is going to be. I think we just overconsume. All things in moderation is key. So, things like you go to the doctor or you get put in the hospital for different things, and they give you meal plans and food lists and ideas about what not to eat. So a lot of that is going to include your breads. Well, good Lord, how do we eat without bread, right? Because breakfast is pancakes or waffles or toast, French toast, biscuits and gravy. So if you think about your bread is made of white processed flour, what's your gravy made of? White processed flour again. So we have to start rethinking, how are we going to eat? Lunch, sandwiches, burgers and fries. Well, your breads and your potatoes, those all turn to sugars within the body. So there's just a whole lot of trying to figure out what are we not supposed to have and what can we have once we figure out these we're not supposed to eat kind of things, right? So I struggled with that at first. I get a list of foods that I need to avoid and foods that I need to eat, and it just don't make sense at first of, well, how am I gonna put that together and, enjoy eating food, because you're taking away everything that I eat. So it is a process. It's a process. But once you learn ways, it just gets a lot easier. So, you know, we can go without our regular potatoes, right? French fries with every meal, baked potato with every meal. We don't have to have that like every day, all day long. Although the majority of us do, because we either eat out a lot or we buy potatoes and make them at home because it's just kind of a staple food, right? So yeah, that part has been one of the hardest parts probably for most people. And then the fact that, well, we just don't enjoy these other items because we're not making meals that are tasty and delicious anymore. So I had to learn how to replace this for that. So I was trying to rethink. Gosh, it's been 10 years since I did this healthy lifestyle. Well, yeah, when I had whole life change and stopped living the healthy lifestyle due to life circumstances, and I wish that I had not, but here we are. And I was like, dang, I don't even remember what I was really doing. But thankfully, I have cookbooks and notes and made myself some little books. But I was following some people on Facebook, obviously. I have a friend sorry, I had to keep my breath calm there. I have a friend that she's been posting her journey on Facebook, living the healthy lifestyle. I guess she started about 2 years ago. And of course, I've been wanting to get back into the healthy lifestyle. And just watched her. Of course, 2021 was when Jeff got real sick with COVID, and you know, we didn't know if he was going to make it or not. I think my cat is following me. Oh, maybe not. So I started working every day and a few jobs and a lot, right? So I just didn't have time to focus on myself at that time. I didn't make time because I think we just have to prioritize ourselves sometimes, whether we actually have the time or not. But putting the thought into what am I going to eat sometimes can be, you know, overwhelming, right? So I watched my friend and I'm like, she looks so healthy. So I messaged her one day And I'm like, hey, what have you been doing, you know? So she tells me about this program, and there's those dogs I was talking about having a fit. So I got their attention. I can usually get past the house, and then when I come back, they're on to me. So I only go down and back that one time because I don't want to keep them stirred up like that. That's like I feel like I would be antagonizing them if I kept doing it. So anyway, the program that she did, so initially she started out with like a fat burn. I got on the program, but I didn't start out with fat burn. I just wanted to start out with getting back into a healthy lifestyle. So I think I'm getting ready to focus on doing the fat burn because I've lost over my 10-pound mark now. So I want to do the fat burn and expedite a little bit of weight loss with the journey, just because I can see such a difference already. So either way, fat burn or just healthy lifestyle, I started on the 5-in-1 program. So I eat 5 of the fuelings that they're already prepared. So that makes the simplicity of starting so much easier. And then I make one lean and green meal that I eat as my one. So I have 5 fuelings and 1 lean and green meal. There are certain things that are on the list of foods to eat because the plan is designed for like optimal health going into a fat burn. But then after basically you can get to your desired goal weight or just any point into the program, and then you can start maintaining. So I started out with, kind of maintain, just to get back into the healthy lifestyle, the cycle of things. And then now I'm going to do the fat burn, and then I'll go back into like maintaining, and then I'll probably do the fat burn again after the holidays. So I'm doing it now. Excuse me. I'm doing it now before the holidays so I can lose, some of the excess pounds. And then if I gain any over the holidays, I would lose it by doing it again. So because I learned everything by pulling pieces together on my own, back in like 2010, I think I started. No, it was before that. So my son was born in 06, and then he was probably a couple of years old, so let's just have a little backstory for y'all. Well, let's see. So in 2002, I was engaged to be married, and me and my fiance were out jet skiing on the river. So I don't know, that day was just really weird, y'all. He always said, you know, you don't jet ski downriver. So, you know, because the current's going that way, so coming back up against the current. And you don't really like jet ski alone. You want to be with your group of friends or people around you with you, whatever. I don't know. So anyways, we were jet skiing down river, and I was on one of the stand-up ones, and I wasn't really too acclimated with the stand-up one. I rode the I think they were called like wave riders or something. The Sea-Doo, the sit down most of the time. So as we're going down the river and it's choppy and I'm like bounce. I was like, okay, this is just too much for me. So I turned around and went back by myself. And then I'm all alone, and I'm headed back, and I feel like somebody placed their hands on my shoulder, and I turn around and there's nothing there. So I don't know, I just kept going, and I made it back to the area where there was, you know, a few of our friends were sitting there or whatever, and I went and sat down, and then this boat comes up with my fiance's body on it, and they were jumping the waves of the General Jackson boat in Nashville on the river, Cumberland River, and one of his buddies jumped the wave, I guess, and landed on him, and it snapped his neck in 3 places. So he passed away that day. They said he died instantly from the breaks in the neck. So I had just shaved his hair, and I had not swept that up, so it was out on the back deck, and then the wedding invites were all over the dining room table because I was prepping all of them to get them sent out. And the church, the wedding venue that we wanted to get married in was not available, so we were going to do June 9th, 6/9, because both of our birthdays are July 13th. So the like the zodiac sign for Cancer is that crab with a 6/9. So that was the date we had actually chosen. But now it was July 28th. And we had flipped it. We were going to just do September 6th because June 9th wasn't available. So we would have already been married, but we were not. And I just remember, I just felt like I was walking through clouds. I don't think I was physically attached to the body. Definitely not emotionally and mentally, right? So, I mean, I forgot to eat. I did lose a lot of weight during that period of time. Not that I was, huge or anything, but I got really probably underweight because I just wasn't in the here and now. I couldn't focus on the present moment. I was tied to the past. Like, I would go stand and look out the window watching for his car to pull up because he had driven his car to the river that day, so somebody else drove it to their house or something. I don't even know. So either way, I would wake up and I would be alone, and then I would go look out the window and his car wouldn't be there, and so I'd kind of be like waiting for him to come back home. And then like at night, I started dreaming, and it's really interesting how the mind can really create things. So I would create different thought scenarios in my mind, and it's just interesting because apparently I would rather him have left me to be with somebody else than to have passed away. So in hindsight, I find that to be like really loving of me, that regardless of whether he had intentions to remain faithful to me or not, he would have still been alive for his children's sake, which was, way more important to me than myself. So, after, some period of time, of course, you go through all these little phases of grief. If you look, just do like a Google search. You have like phases of grief, and there are also phases of death. So like somebody that's in hospice care, those people will hand the family members a stages of death pamphlet. So I've seen that as well. But I was 28 years old, and instead of getting married, I was left as a single parent, and I went into depression. So I'm going to say the first stage that I went through, I don't remember all the stages what they were, but I was obviously in denial of his passing away. And so I was like recreating different scenarios in my head while I was asleep, having very vivid dreams. And then when I got depressed, I definitely was resorting to foods for comfort, eating the ice cream right out of the bucket, Most of us probably have done that. So, but yeah, I started, I was in a size 4, and then I was in a size 6, and then I was in a size 8, and then I was in a size 10, and then I was in a size 12. And then I was in a size 14, and I was like, okay, my 14s are getting really tight, and so I really don't want to have to go and buy the next size up of clothing. I have all these clothes, you know, and so I made some choices, and I didn't gain any more as far as like clothing sizes at that point. But I did get pregnant with my son, so I gave birth to my son at age 32. And his sisters were 14 and 9. And I had a baby. So I think I got the biggest I had ever been in my life when I was pregnant with him. And he was a big old baby. He was like 8 pounds, 6.5 ounces, I think. But the girls were 7 pounds, and then 7 pounds, 4 ounces. So he was really big for me. And I remember after giving birth to him wearing a 1X. I don't recall what my weight was, though. I never really liked identifying with the number on the scale, so I didn't always keep a scale around. I didn't want a number to identify me, you know. I'm not that number on the scale. Well, hello. So, can't really remember on that. But a few years had went by, and I had to have like an emergency gallbladder removal, and I was going to pain management. I had gotten steroid shots for my neck, and they really wanted to give me steroid shots for my mid back, but I heard that like it was really painful getting the shots in the lower back, and so I just didn't do it. But I will say the steroid shots that they did like mid back for my neck, they weren't really painful, but just somebody telling me that the lower back was painful was enough for me to not want to do it, you know. So I had that series of 3 for my neck, and I never really had to deal with like my neck pain anymore after that. So it worked. But I had health issues, and I had went for a colonoscopy to determine if I had irritable bowel syndrome. And I saw my paperwork, and it said obese female. So, I mean, I was probably 35 years old, and just seeing that written by a medical doctor that I was obese was just really eye-opening for me. And so at that point, I was like, all right, I've got to take control of my life, my health, right? I started researching all these like diets because I didn't know where to start. So there's paleo, and there's Mediterranean, and there's low fat, and there's keto, and there's this, and there's that, and the other. GAPS diet. Lots of diets. So I don't know, I just went in and I started pulling out recipes and just, you know, making all these recipes, buying all these ingredients, spending all the money and all the time to make recipes that I was like, oh, this is, I don't even want to eat this after I made it, you know? A lot of it just was not good. It wasn't good. So that makes it hard to do a diet when nothing tastes good. So it was like it's costing more money to buy things that I don't normally use, taking more time to prep, and then nobody even likes it. So needless to say, I learned really quickly in how difficult it can be, and how easy it is to give up, right? But I didn't. So I'm 5 foot tall, and I remember when I got on the scale or at the doctor's office or something, my weight being like 166. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a scale, and I'm gonna start with this 166 number, and I'm just gonna start working on my health. So I had started a journal. If you don't journal and write things down, I'm just gonna recommend that you try journaling. So I actually did it as a teenager, just because life circumstances, you know, would weigh me down, and I didn't really understand. When I was 11 and my brother was 13 and we were in school, we had moved from Illinois here to Tennessee with our mother, and then we were living with our uncle and our grandparents, and we had went to school, and when we came back, our mom had moved back to Illinois, and she didn't say goodbye to us. And I really couldn't, at 11 years old, comprehend why she would leave without saying goodbye. Hello, Diamond. Hi, Diamond. How are you? Good morning. How are you, baby? Hi. Are you being ever so gentle? Oh, hi. How's Diamond today? I'm on my walk. I figured I'd meet you out here one day while I was walking. She's like, what do I smell? Oh, don't mind the cat, okay? Because she follows me all around. Yeah. Hi. Her's a sweet girl. All right, I'm going to keep my walk going, okay? I'm not going to hurt you. You don't got to cower down. No. I'm not. All right, so at 11, you know, not understanding why she wouldn't say goodbye, you know. So that, you know, I'm sure caused some deep down emotional like traumas, right? But anyways, I don't remember where I was really going with that, but at any rate, I'll have to rewatch the video, and I may have to pick back up on where I had left off. But anyways, I know I was talking about getting back onto like a healthy weight, because now I was at 166, and I had went to the doctor and been told I was obese, and trying to put together like recipes for a meal plan, you know, a diet, right? So, and I was in a 1X after I had had my son. So, I feel like I recently, when I went to the beach, which I think was just in June this year, was back at 166, but I was coming out of a size 10. I never did. I'm still in my 10s, but they're actually starting to get loose. So you see where the number just can't define you, because 166 and an extra, no, a 1X. That's still an XL, right? Yeah. Or 166 in a size 10. So a lot of it's going to be to do with like muscle mass, muscle weight versus fat. So 10 pounds of muscle is going to be a lot smaller than 10 pounds of fat, which you can also Google search images. So 10 pounds of muscle might be the size of my fist, you know, to where 10 pounds of fat might be the size of my belly right now. So losing 10 pounds can be quite a difference if it's fat or muscle. So I don't, excuse me, I don't let that number define me, and I just let the way I feel guide me and direct my steps. So back then, oh, I know what I was talking about. Writing my journal. So I was journaling, and I had named my journal A Day in the Life, because as is life, things are coming at you, pew, 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 all directions, you know. Lots of negative things come at you. You know, it's like something really just wants to beat you down, right? And besides all of the outside factors, you know, family, friends, your vehicle, oh my gosh, I couldn't tell you how many flat tires I got just driving in the driveway. We were renting from the in-laws. They lived in front of us, and he had like an air conditioning company business of his own, and he worked on a lot of equipment back there, I guess, and I would run over screws and nails and just something pretty much on the daily. So I was forever having to go get my tires plugged and replaced, and it was always a day in the life, okay? And now you get it. So journaling helps you because you're getting those things off your chest. So it's a really good way to let go of anything and everything. Some things, some things that I wrote as a child, my family found my journals and read my writings and found out, a lot of personal things about me that once I realized that they were reading my journals, I went outside and made a little bonfire and I burned them all, okay? So, we're going to call giving those things to God. So if you have things that you want to write down, but you don't want other people to see, give them to God. And let the weight of that burden be taken off of your shoulders, okay? So you don't have to call him God. You can call it whatever you want to call it. We all have different belief systems, and I'm fully aware of that. But I'm just giving it a gifted name. We're gonna let those things go and let them go. So it's really a gift. So that's where, if you have to go into your mental capacities, deep into your childhood, and write down some things that can be causing you triggers. They're triggering to you today, and you've probably pushed them really deep down and just suppressed them. Write them down and send them up as an offering. Just release them and let them go. You'd be surprised how relieving it is to get some of that stuff off of your chest. So, then moving forward, I was like, oh, there was this story. I've told this story before. Grandma and my Pappy Joe. Oh my goodness, we don't call her Sassy Grandma for nothing. We made her a little TikTok account, just saying, at Sassy Grandma. One day I was there, and it was probably after Philip had passed away, and I was living in that depression. Yes, because I was living there with them, waiting on an apartment to come available for me and the kids to live in, because we weren't married when he passed away, and the house was in his name solely. Therefore, we had to move out. We no longer had the home. So, I was living there with Grandma and Pappy Joe. He had, bless his heart, he had gout in his toes and his feet, and it's really painful. And she looks at him one day. Now granted, he had, this big old belly. You know how guys do. He was tall, skinny legs, skinny arms, long, big old belly. She looks at him and she says, "It's no wonder your legs hurt all the time. You have that big old belly on them little bitty legs." I was like, no, she didn't. Honey, that wasn't the end of it, because he comes back at her. He says, "You have a big old mouth on a little bitty head." Oh, I couldn't contain it. I rolled. I laughed so hard and for hours that night because I really needed that in my life. I cried. I cried tears of laughter because he was quick on the wit, honey. You know, she was probably thinking, "Oh no, he didn't, but honey, you just did it to him." So I was crying. Oh my gosh, that was the funniest thing. So in my journal, a day of the life, right, I put ... Now this was written on the front of the, it's just like a notepad, those 320 page notepads, the big thick ones. So it was a day in the life, and now I added ... on a positive note because I had 3 kids and I was battling, the depression was coming back on because I had seen, the doctor wrote that I was obese and was having all these health issues, and just life, right, was happening. So it became a day in the life on a positive note. And I just reverted to these kids. They always say the darndest things. You remember that? Kids say the darndest things, old saying. But they really do. And they're really funny. And, well, if I didn't have something good out of the day to focus on, other than all these pew, 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 pew things of life coming at me, I would revert back to that story right there. And I just can't help but to laugh. Like, even now thinking about it, it's funny. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. So, again, I know, Miss Ma'am, her's here to tell me off. You see them ears? Don't you smack me. Don't do it. Come on. She don't like that I come down here by them dogs, see, because they're barking now, because I got them stirred up. So she was fine when I went, and now she knows that they're all stirred up, so she comes down here to yell at me about it. Goodness, but sometimes it's just the simplest things, but you just need a little joy in your life, okay? So find your joy, because it's the simplicities of life that can bring you just that little bit of joy and keep you focused on the present, the here and now. So, yeah, that is always the best advice I can give anybody, and then as far as like dwelling on the death of the loved one, there were children involved. He had a son, I had a daughter, and we had a daughter. And so the best thing I could do was to talk about the good times we had with him, share stories where we could laugh and bring back the moments of joy that we experienced with him in life here. So rather than dwelling on the fact that he's gone and doesn't live amongst us anymore and life changed, So, yeah, those are some of my best little pieces of advice from my own personal learning experiences. We can't dwell on the past because it causes depression. I know this firsthand. We can't worry about the future. We don't know what the future holds, and that just causes angst, anxiety. But we can focus on the here and now, which is a present, a gift to our own self. So we can just focus on the beauty that is around us, this moment that we're in, and just take it all in as a nice deep breath of fresh air. And enjoy this moment of this day. So, coming back full circle now to the simplicities of the program, and doing the 5-in-1. Although I have not focused on the fat burn aspect of it because I just wanted to get myself acclimated back into the healthy lifestyle, which has been so beneficial. I have my friend that's on the program that I can talk to daily. We actually wake up every morning and talk to each other. So we have that accountability with each other. And then we have like a community group of people that are all living the healthy lifestyle on the program, and we can see each other's like wins and like recipes and things like that to keep us encouraged and motivated. And then we have the foods that are already prepared. So that just makes it really easy. I like, because of the holistic lifestyle, some of the things might not be ideally what I would go to the store and purchase, but these are created by a doctor and the Johns Hopkins Institute, which is a cancer research and institute for patients there. So they are trying to help people that have been on chemo and radiation to have proper nutrition. And of course, those therapies can make somebody sick and not want to eat really. So I think that it's a great implement to have everything that your body needs already prepared. But so I like hot, warm, and cooked foods. So if I'm at home, I can do the ones that are hot, warm, and cooked. And also if I'm at work, I can do hot, warm, and cooked. But if I'm just on the go, I like having a full meal that I can grab and go and just take with me on the run. So if it's time for me to leave to go to work and I don't have time to make food, sit down and eat, I can grab something on the go, right? It's better than stopping at Starbucks and McDonald's, because that would be my go-to. What about you? So I have those. They're very simple, easy. And then I have a book that guides me on what are the best foods for me to eat, right? Leanest meats, leaner meats, and lean meats. So that helps me to remember what I was buying as far as meats were concerned back in the day when I was doing the healthy lifestyle. And then there's also your vegetables, based on highest carb count, higher or medium. I think it's high, medium, and low carbs. So I can pick and choose what I'm going to eat. Well, I make my grocery list, right, off of those. But then there's also recipes to guide you for creating your healthy meals based on these ingredients. They're already ready. And they're simple. And I mean, like the spaghetti sauce that I make and post. My husband loves it. My son, he's still really finicky about mixed foods. So, and he doesn't want to eat his vegetables. That's what he told me when he was like 2. I don't know. And he still kind of feels that way. And today's his 18th birthday. Happy birthday to my baby. Oh, goodness. So, either way, I think that has like 5 ingredients in it. And it's so good. I'm like, how does it taste so good? But it does. So, I like that. And it's simple and easy. Well, you could do on program, you could do zucchini noodles, you know. What do I do? Spaghetti squash. So you could do spaghetti squash, which you just cut it in half and remove the seeds, put some olive oil and salt and pepper on it, and flip it upside down, because I forgot to flip it upside down the other day. It still worked, but it wasn't quite as done, on a baking sheet, and bake it at 350 for 1 hour. Then you take it out, flip them back over, and you take 2 forks and you shred it, and it makes noodles. So spaghetti squash, get it? And then you put your little sauce over the top of it. And yes, it has hamburger. So you're still having spaghetti. It's just not, your regular spaghetti noodles. So I would say, coming off of like that list of things that are allowed on the plan, I would probably look into options of noodles. I like the spaghetti squash myself. And my husband actually has gotten to where he likes it now too. So it's not an issue for us. But they have gluten-free noodles. They have rice noodles. They have kind of everything you could think of these days available for us. So yeah, the simplicity of that part of the program, and the fact that it has everything compiled into it in one, to where several years ago I had to go and piece it all together myself. So it's been a great reminder, and it's been so very helpful, beneficial for me, just to be able to get back into the healthy lifestyle. So within the community, the group of people, that, you know, they all share different aspects of their life in the community. We had a challenge, and I was like, oh, I'm enjoying the challenge, and just see, you know, what that's all about. So in the beginning of the challenge, there was a you know, list of different options of things you can do. What do you want to commit to doing? So I committed to 30 minutes a day of walking. I will say, if you have not been getting any movement, I would recommend starting with 15, because after that 15 minutes, I was really having to push myself for that next 15, okay? But I started with the 30, I committed to the 30, so I did the 30. And as you can see today, I am at 1 hour, 1 minute, 55 seconds. So I'm out here walking for an hour, and it's only been a few weeks, so props to me. You can do it too, right? So if you want to commit to walking, if you have been sitting and just being what we would just call stagnant for quite some time, start with 15, you know, and then work your way back up, which I do have a 15-minute video. I prepped my amino acids for after my walk, so I can drink it when I come in. I like this one. It really reminds me of Tang. If you remember Tang from childhood or teenage years or adult years, whatever. It's really good, but it's good for your muscles. So it'll help build that muscle, and also it keeps me from being really sore after walking. So I didn't have it before I started walking, but it arrived about the time I started walking. So pretty quickly after getting out there and walking, I started drinking it. But I could definitely tell the difference from the few days that I walked without it. So I have it ready now. I don't even wait until I come in to mix it. I mix it before I go, and then I come in and I grab it and I drink it. Oh, my Meoki cup, I can take the straw out, and that little piece in there clips up, and then I can just really shake it. So I just mix it right in the cup. My sister bought it for me for my birthday, and then it's just here and ready for me. So I'll devour that in a few minutes, and then I'll track it in my water tracker. So it's been pretty easy getting all my water in now with these few things that I've been implementing in. So yeah, and then I will go, I'm going to rinse my face off immediately. So that's the esthetician in me. I don't want any of this to clog up my pores and cause me to have acne. I don't need to get breakouts. So, and then I will put some magnesium flakes in the bathtub and run me a bath and soak for at least 20 minutes to absorb that magnesium. And then at night I take liposomal magnesium, just put a few drops under my tongue. And I take a niacinamide as well. So that's helps with like the pains that I was already having before walking from falling down the steps. My hips hurt when I sleep, so I take the niacinamide, so when I wake up I'm not like in dire aches and pains in the mornings now. And then when I wake up I take my fish oil for my joints. I need some lubrication in there, which I've kind of been like that all my life. When I went to the doctor as a teenager, my wrists and my ankles, they just crack, they pop, snap, crackle, pop. So they were like, you need some fish oil in your life. So I do that in the morning as well. Start out with my water and my fish oil and then my coffee, because, you know, I have to have, what do I have? I have to have my healthy chocolate coffee, and I have to have my espresso, and I have to have my protein shake, so it's usually a Profi. I do split my cups. So if I have a cup of coffee, I'll split it in half. Or if I'm drinking my coffee or my espresso, and then I'm ready for my protein shake, I just take what's left. I don't actually have like 4 cups of coffee in the morning. I used to, but if you look up coffee and anxiety, it'll tell you why I don't have 4 cups of coffee in the morning anymore. All right, well, thank you for joining me on my hour-long walk today. And I hope that you have gotten some type of tidbit of good information, encouragement, motivation from joining me today. Have a fabulous day. Goodbye.